What is going on, the Falcons family? Well, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? It's your boy Marcus Washington. You're on the mark where we talk everything Falcons football, man. And it has been an interesting week. Um, Falcons interviewed Bill Belichick yesterday. No surprise to me. My last video, I said, "Hey, listen, Monday, this man needs to be hired as the coach, or at least here." And we find out yesterday it was a face-to-face interview. Now I'm not sure where this took place. There are some reports saying that Arthur Blank took him out on a yacht. So I'm like, oh, he big game hunting for real. For real. And there are some people that have a major issue with this. Major. I'm gonna get to that. But Atlanta, I do have to give them some credit. Their press conference last Monday was absolutely horrendous. It was terrible. Since then, they've interviewed Brian Callahan, the offensive coordinator of the Bengals. I'm gonna keep fucking this guy's name up, but the DC in Carolina, Steve Wilkes, Anthony Weaver, who was the Ravens D-line coach, Mike McDonald, who was the Ravens defensive coordinator. I don't know why you would interview the defensive line coach and then the coordinator. Anyway, and they still have Aaron Glenn from the Lions, the defensive coordinator, Raheem Morris, Rams defensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator, and they got Antonio Pierce here. Listen, I'm gonna be honest. If Vegas doesn't hire Antonio Pierce, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. I'm just gonna be honest. He had them boys ready to run through a wall the latter part of that season. So I feel like he definitely deserves a shot. Out of all these interviews that we've had thus far, Bill Belichick is the only coach that I've heard of where there was an actual face-to-face. And mind you, this came days after he parted ways with the Patriots. So there are a couple things that have transpired since then. Dallas lost in epic fashion to a 7th seed in the Packers. Philly got embarrassed by the Buccaneers, who again barely made the playoffs. So there's an issue there. There's an issue going on in Pittsburgh with Mike Tomlin, but Mike Tomlin's got one more year on his contract, so that's really a situation where if he wants to walk away, he can. I haven't heard anything about Pittsburgh wanting to move on from Mike Tomlin, so that seems like that might be a thing Tomlin has to decide what he's going to do. And people have kind of interpreted the way that Tomlin walked out of the press conference yesterday as he's done. I don't know, man. They just came off an L in the playoffs. So I don't know. But then you got Pete Carroll out there. You got Vrabel, who's still out there. You have Jim Harbaugh, who did an interview with the Chargers, where he actually went to visit. So we don't know what that situation is, right? I got a couple of bones to pick with our fan base. Before I do that, man, let me get to the chat. What's going on with everybody in the chat? What's going on, G? John Norman, what's happening? What's happening? Wild Boy, what's going on? Wild Boy says rise up. Yes, sir. What's going on, T-Dub? Kenny, man, I'm not going to try. I'm terrible at names. You're Kenny to me, and that's all right. What's going on, fam? Yeah, man, let's get these likes up and subscribe, family. I don't ask that a lot. I do this just for the love of my team. So yeah, like and subscribe if you like what you hear. A1 Sauce, what's going on, family? Alejandro, he says, what's good, Mark? I finally caught a live. It's been a minute. I appreciate you being here, fam. What's going on, Vaughn? He says that boy went live while everybody getting off work. Love, bro. Yeah, y'all know I be sporadic with my lives, bro. It might be 4 or 5 in the morning. I'll do one. Vaughn says, so he took Belichick on a yacht and told the others to fix a ham and cheese from the refrigerator. What's going on, Johnny? What's going on, man? Uncle Steve, what's happening? He says, my brother cutting off hoodie sleeves as we speak. Sorry, it's coming, y'all. Hey, man, I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it at all. What's going on, Steve? Maddie says, if Pierce ain't hired, Crosby is out of there. Okay. Well, yeah, I heard about that too. There was a report about that. So, and I'm like, man, listen, Pierce earned that job. He earned that job. For them to go with somebody else, it would have to be one of the big dogs. But Pierce deserves that job. G says ESPN just reported that Mike Tomlin plans to coach the Steelers in 2024. Okay, that makes sense. He's got one more year. What's going on, Moses? What's happening? Armani says, Negro Dominus, what's up, big dog? What's going on with you, man? AJ says, right, keep your alerts on. Fuck with Mark. Yeah, fam. I be up in the middle of the night, man. I'm like, man, let me hop on here. But yeah, so let me talk about this, fam. There are some folks out here in this fan base, bro. I don't understand the logic. I don't understand why would you get Bill Belichick? Why would you get Pete Carroll? It's like they're not happy with any coach, but they want Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson he just became an offensive coordinator, bro. And I can make the argument, had Puka Nacua got that call, that was a blatant penalty, Detroit's probably sitting at the house right now. Because that would have put the Rams in field goal range. That was a blatant penalty. A hold at worst. They got away with one at the end. I could make that argument. If the Rams get that penalty, the Rams are advancing, not the Lions. But this is the guy that everybody is hungry over. And listen, I'm not shitting on Ben Johnson. I'm just giving facts. The man ain't won nothing. But it seems like Atlanta exclusively falls in love with hot offensive coordinators. We just had one for 3 years. That was bad. But when he came up for his turn at bat for coaching gigs, he was the hot hire. Arthur Smith didn't win anything either prior to becoming our head coach. But people want to turn their nose up at established guy. Family, y'all bad and bougie now. Y'all bad and bougie. And for me, the crazy part is, how you bad and bougie coming off 3 7-win seasons? How you bad and bougie and you ain't won nothing? But you gonna turn up your nose at a guy that's got 6 of them things? No, man, we don't need him. Family. Any person with pedigree, y'all should be thanking that interview for this job. We've been a laughing stock of an organization for a while. Y'all want Rich McKay gone. There's reports, I don't know if they're true or not, but this might get this done if he becomes the coach. Y'all can't be bad and bougie and ain't won shit. Y'all don't have the right to be bad and bougie. You ain't won nothing. Dallas, yeah, they got a right to be bad and bougie. They got a couple of chips. And even though they lose in embarrassing fashion, at least they make the playoffs. Philly got a right to be bad and bougie. Went to the Super Bowl last year. They got a title. How we bad and bougie? Went to the Super Bowl twice. Lost both times. The last time we lost in embarrassing fashion. How we bad and bougie? Explain that to me. How we turning our nose up at Hall of Fame coaches? For what? Ben Johnson ain't got no pedigree yet. Still wet behind the ears. Y'all falling in love with an offense that literally got away with the penalty that might have cost them the game. Because remember, the Rams supposed to be in a rebuild this year. Rams almost went up in Detroit and beat them. They couldn't stop Puka Nacua. But fam, I'm like, this is what you got to get a winner in here. A proven winner. I don't care if it was 3 or 4 years ago. I mean, the Patriots won a Super Bowl in 2018 here. So my argument is, when did we win one? When we win one, I'm just waiting for that time where we won something. But we sitting up here turning our noses up at guys that have actually been to the same mountaintop we trying to get to. He's a bad fit. So was Smith. Sooner or later, family, this franchise has to gamble. These coordinators, what we've realized, it ain't working. It ain't working. Think about this. There were people that were actually against Arthur Smith getting fired. We should have gave him another year. Man didn't earn it, but okay, whatever. He never had a quarterback. Man was here for 3 years. He had chances to get a quarterback. He didn't. He let his balls hang low for Desmond Ridder. People didn't want him fired, but look at what's going on in Dallas. Dallas has been 12-5 the last 3 seasons. Those are winning seasons. And they're talking about McCarthy's job isn't safe. So if McCarthy's job isn't safe, how the hell was Arthur Smith's job ever safe? And mind you, McCarthy has one of them things. You can't be bad and bougie and a loser at the same time. Fam, and this is coming from a guy that is a die-hard fan of the Falcons. The two don't make sense. You can't be a 600-pound dime. They don't go hand in hand. How you bad and bougie and ain't won shit since 2017? Holla at me. Y'all talking about Big Bill has lost it. When did we get it? Because mind you, since 2017, he's won a chip and he's made the playoffs with Mac Jones. What have we done since then? Fam, I'm about winning a chip. And who better to get here as a head coach than somebody that's won a chip? This is why I'm out on coordinators right now. Unless that coordinator has a fucking chip to his name, I don't care. I don't. We're trying to acquire a championship. Right now, we're a quarterback away. Look at what Tampa's doing. Jesus Christ. You mean to tell me that couldn't have been us with a decent quarterback? That's why I told y'all Desmond Ridder should have been riding the bench like week 5. Baker got these boys in the division. Bro, really? And we sitting here turning our nose up at head coaches that are easily better than the one that we had here for 3 years. Easily. You want to know how I know this? Who's requesting Arthur Smith interview for a head coaching job? Just tell me the team out of the 8 that are interested in Arthur Smith being the actual head coach. Pete Carroll can get a head coaching gig if he wants it. Mike Tomlin, if he decided to walk away, which we just heard that he's coaching next year for the Steelers, could get one. Vrabel will end up somewhere. John Harbaugh will end up somewhere. Where the fuck is Arthur Smith going to end up at as a head coach this year or going into next year? Who? Fam, you can't be a loser and bad and bougie at the same time. You got to accept one thing about our franchise right now. And this is the one thing that's true. I don't care how diehard of a fan you are. I don't care how long you've had season tickets. As of right now, we're losers. And we have been losers for a while now. Those are facts. We haven't had a winning season since Dan Quinn. You have to take an honest approach and an honest assessment about your team. Do we have weapons? Yes. On both sides? Yes. Is our defense a whole lot better this year than last year? Yeah, we finished 11th. And mind you, the team tapped out the last 2 games. We finished 11th. And as much as people want to talk about Georgia Bulldogs and Philly becoming the Georgia Bulldogs of the NFL, their defense finished 26th. Those are facts. Fam, they went 10-1 in the first 11 games, and their defense ended up 26th. We won 7 games, and our defense was 11th, and we tapped out the last 2 games. There's major potential here. And guess what? This fan base will show up. You get the right pieces and you start winning games. This is what it's all about, wins and losses. And some of our fans are turning up their nose at guys that are proven winners. Okay, so let's just make the argument. Bill Belichick ain't done nothing in 3 years. He's still got more wins under his belt than every coach right now. Well, you know, he ain't done nothing since Tom Brady. I can make a very compelling argument. Very compelling. That minus Gronkowski, Tom Brady kind of been Because remember, that first year they had Gronk. Them last 2 years, And this is not taking anything away from either one of those guys, Tom Brady or Bill Belichick. Both of them are great in their respective roles. But for fans to sit here and talk about, no, we need somebody young, somebody unproven, how that been working out for us? Last 20 years, holla at me. How has that been working out for us? How? Y'all want change, but y'all are attracted to the same shit. Y'all attracted to the same exact. Man, our head coach was awful, man. He was terrible. Ben Johnson, he looked sexy. Same fucking guy. Unproven guy. He's in his second year as a coordinator. Hotter than lava, supposedly now. Fam. How many years was Arthur Smith in OC? Y'all keep falling for the same trick bag. Ben Johnson's a crapshoot. I prefer somebody who has been to the mountaintop, who has held up that goddamn Lombardi, who knows what it feels like to go through a regular season, who knows what it feels like to go through a postseason and be the last team standing. That type of experience you can't even buy. And maybe, just maybe, if Atlanta had a couple of chips, I might be on y'all side. We don't have shit. There's something my and I'm gonna sound like Shannon Sharp, because there's something my grandma used to always tell me. Beggars can't be choosy. Y'all begging for a title, but y'all want to be choosy about who brings it to you. So, for me, I'm not that picky. I prefer, there are two coaches, well, technically three, that are on the market right there that have been to a Super Bowl. Two of them have actually won one. One guy just came off a natty, so he's fresh off a champagne pedigree. But looks like the Chargers are full steam ahead on Jim Harbaugh. So we'll see how that goes. Now, when it comes to other teams, because I saw one report where they were talking about Bills looking at Atlanta like the last resort if no other team wants him. Here's the thing. Washington's already out on him, right? They're already out on Bill Belichick. So that's one team gone. Now there's 8 teams out there, including us. So that leaves 6 teams left. Minus the Patriots job has been taken by Gerard Mayo. Congrats. So that's 5. The Chargers look like they're all in on Jim Harbaugh. So if they get Harbaugh, that's 4. So you're talking about the Cowboys, who justifiably, how do you fire a guy that's won 12 games in each of the 3 years? Now, Dallas might be crazy enough to do that, but here's the thing. How is that even going to mix with Jerry Jones? The minute Bill Belichick gets there, Jerry Jones is an afterthought. Nobody's going to really care about what Jerry thinks. So there's the mix right there. Then in Philly, I don't see Philly firing Sirianni. You look at the last 3 years, they made the playoffs. Now they get beat by Tampa Bay. No Brown in sight. He wasn't there. Julio gets knocked out on it. Man, Julio just needs to retire and make a podcast. Julio ain't been the same since he was in that red and black. But the year before they made the Super Bowl, and then the year before they made the playoffs. It's hard to fire guys that are winning, that are making the postseason. Then on top of that, they had a turnover at OC and DC. Even what went on in Tennessee with Mike Vrabel. People forget they made that dumbass trade with Philly so Philly can acquire Brown and pretty much cut one of goddamn Vrabel's offensive hands off. So I'm kind of looking at, if they fire McCarthy, maybe I see them going after Bill, but then you got to ask yourself the question, how is that going to work out? Jerry's got to be front and center. Jerry's got a fucking podcast, for crying out loud. He's got to be front and center. Those personalities are not going to work. Arthur Blank on the other end doesn't have to be front and center. So when you really look at what's out there, you kind of start looking at the selections and really, let me get to some of these comments, man. G says, some fans told me they don't want Bill because he doesn't rep the culture of Atlanta. I say, damn all that, hire that man. What do we have to lose at this point? Well, we've been losing. So my thing is, what's more losing going to do, really? We've been losing. That we know how to do to a T now. We have found, as a franchise, we have found some interesting ways to be losers. The culture that needs to change is that we need to develop a winning culture. That's it. I don't give a damn how we get there. But we're hiring guys in key positions that don't know how to win because honestly, they ain't never been in charge of winning. Country says, I'm with you, Marcus. If we sign Belichick, NFC is ours. We go to the playoffs and we go to the bowl and win. Just look at what where Tampa's at right now. Are you really? And I'm being honest. Do you really think Tampa has a better roster than ours? Really? That's how bad our quarterback play was this year. It was that bad. But just take a page off of what Tampa, they're not better than us, fam. Anthony says you're firing McCarthy because he can't seem to win in the playoffs, but I understand what you're saying. No coach that they've had there since Wade Phillips has been able to get over that hump. Remember with Jason Garrett, they were the Kings at 8-8. And they've had weapons this whole time. You know, from the Dez Bryants to the Ezekiel Elliott's to the Amari Coopers to the now CeeDee Lambs, the Tony Pollards, the Dak Prescotts, Tony Romos. And my God, if I start talking about the defense, they've had this ain't a McCarthy issue. This a Cowboy issue. If they fire McCarthy and put somebody else in there next year, I think they run into the same shit. Every year, we hear from Cowboys fans, this our year. Man, y'all see the way Dak playing? Boy, Dak playing like an MVP. Man, y'all see CeeDee Lamb? Boy, y'all see CeeDee Lamb? Best wide receiver in the game. Look at this defense, bruh. Look at Micah Parsons. Bro, Micah Parsons had one tackle. One fucking one tackle, bro. And had the audacity to walk into that stadium with a Bobby Boucher jersey on. And I know what the problem was with Micah Parsons. And see, Green Bay, they smart. They saw Micah Parsons walk in there with that Bobby Boucher jersey and they said, hey, listen, no matter what you do, don't talk about this man's mama. That's what happened. Nobody talked about this man's mama. Had they talked about this man's mama, this man probably would have went off for like 6 or 7 sacks. Appreciate that, Winston. Yeah, hit that like button, fam. Hit that like button. Johnny says, fans want a coach that fits them, not the team. When we start winning, they will be on Bill's tip. Yeah. It was like that with Shanahan that first year. Then when that offense just became an absolute monster. But you got to change the culture. We've been losing for a while, family. The last time we had a winning record, there was a child born. That child now knows how to read, tie his shoes, and walk. Y'all want this kid to learn how to drive before we get another winning season? We can't be choosy at this point, fam. We can't. I mean, I honestly hate to come off like I'm attacking y'all, because I'm not. Y'all know how much I love this team and this fan base. I ain't never gonna, talk down on the fan base. I'm just telling you, guys, you can't be a loser and bad and bougie at the same time. You just can't. Start winning first, and then you can be a little bad and bougie. You win a title, you can be bad and bougie all you want to. Falcons fan says, so you honestly think Belichick can fix it in one season? Here's the thing. I think any coach with a pedigree can turn this around in one season. This is not a rebuild, fam. We don't need 10 players. Like Carolina is, man, probably a whole 3 years away from being competitive. They have nothing in the cupboard. Nothing. They don't even have fans in the cupboard right now. So they got to make a whole lot of moves. That's a rebuild. Fam, we need a quarterback. That's it. And a head coach that knows what the fuck they're doing. Norman says that was my child. My kid was born in late 2016 going into 2017, and he's in the first grade. See? And never saw our team win. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, hold on. Marco says, breaking news. Oh, hold on. I gotta see this. I do not see that at all. Hold on. Yeah, I don't see that, fam. But let me make sure I'm doing all this research real quick. Let me look up Bill Callahan. Bill Callahan, my bad. Nope, I don't see anything. And my phone would have went off too. Well, they completed the interview, or Brian Callahan. They completed the interview 3 days ago, but that's all I see. I don't see anything else. Kenny says, "Mama, mama said, mama said." Oh my goodness. If Bill comes here, Terry's getting fired, right? I think it's messed up. I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case. I think, they probably, they met yesterday, kind of similar to a date, trying to feel each other out. I don't think Bill Belichick had to come, with this whole presentation of what he would bring to this team. I mean, he's got fucking 6 chips and he beat your team in the Super Bowl after coming back from 28-3. So what this guy is capable of doing. But I think a lot of it might have been if I come here or if you come here or that kind of thing. I will tell you this. If there's a second interview, Belichick's taking his job. And listen, I'm not going to say the NFL is rigged, but I will say there are storylines in the NFL. Definitely. There are definitely storylines in the NFL. And what kind of storyline would it be for Bill Belichick to come to the team that he beat in the Super Bowl, got his 15th win that makes him the most winningest coach in NFL history, and getting a chip in the same division that Tom Brady got his? That's a fucking storyline for an organization that hadn't won anything. See, it don't really hit the same in Dallas. Dallas has got titles. Doesn't really hit the same in Philly either. Oh, this hits like bricks when it comes to the Falcons. You take a team that has pretty much been a laughingstock over the last couple of years. Fam, I'm telling, the NFL has story. Look at what's going on right now. All these teams that are playing this weekend, they all have storylines. The Baltimore Ravens, just last offseason, your boy Lamar was on the market. Didn't nobody want to pay the fare for Lamar Jackson. Now he's running into his second MVP. And they're the top dogs over there. Look at Kansas City. Cold as ice. Now they finding their mojo again. You look at Buffalo. Fool's gold, they said. They on the fringe. Now they coming too. You look at the 49ers. Can the 49ers finally get over the hump? Can Kyle Shanahan win his first title as a head coach? They got all the weapons. You look at Detroit. First time winning a playoff game in the last 30 plus years. Do they got the goods to do it? Tampa Bay, the dark horse. All these teams have storylines to them, fam. All of them. Fam, this is a J.K. Rowling type storyline with Bill Belichick if he comes here. Even a guy like Pete Carroll. These are storylines. Can Bill take this team to the promised land? Then let's put on our Doctor Strange capes. What's going on, Tidy? Tidy says that would be a hell of a storyline, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it too. But let's put on our Doctor Strange capes. We ain't even going to the multiverse. Let's just travel to the future. About 5-6 months. Y'all there with me? Y'all got y'all capes? Let's go there. Let's say they don't go in the draft to get a quarterback. Let's say they stay in the NFL. They go after a guy like Russ. Bill Belichick and Russ, can they get along? Can they get this team over the hump? You know, Russ' wife, she from the A. Was Russ really washed? Or can he make a return to form? Get a guy like Justin Fields, which Atlanta passed on a couple years ago. Was Justin Fields really a bad quarterback? Or was it the team? Is Justin the quarterback that can take this offense to the next level? You look at Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, before he went out, was having a monster season. Can he recreate that in Atlanta? Can Kirk Cousins finally get to that next level? These are storylines, fam. Football is entertainment, for crying out loud. All these are storylines. You get a guy like Ben Johnson. What the fuck the storyline gonna be? I mean, that's pretty much a Dragon Ball storyline. Will Atlanta make the will they make the playoffs? Will they? Won't they? Stay tuned next season. There really ain't nothing built there. And plus, let's be real. We've already seen that storyline before. This is why, to me, this makes more sense than people actually think. I firmly believe Philly ain't coming off their coach. Nick Sirianni gonna be the coach. They even came out and said they ain't even thought about firing Nick Sirianni. Mike Tomlin staying for another year. And the Chargers flirting with Jim Harbaugh right now. So again, fam, if they have another interview, this man's he's good as here. Now, if we hear in the next 24 hours Atlanta something leak out about, you know, what that interview was like, then maybe it ain't happening. Sav says, Kirk already came out and said he will take a discount to stay in Minnesota. He was that man was on pace to have an MVP season himself. He was 18 touchdowns against 5 picks before he went down. And this was a couple games removed from Justin Jefferson, who was out. What's going on, Millie? What's happening, fam? Albert says Belichick gets Russ, who he beat in an epic Super Bowl. We all know our story with Bill, and they both come here to get us a Super Bowl would absolutely dominate NFL storylines. And fam, there's no doubt in my mind. There's no. Let me put a big emphasis on this. There is no doubt in my mind that Russell Wilson would come here. No doubt in my mind. Let's just say all these dominoes fall the way that some people think it's going to fall. Belichick and Arthur Blank, they flirting right now. They flirting. Let's say the reports are true that he took him out on the yacht. They flirting right now. Let's say this thing gets serious. And Blank want to put him on paper. Blank want to put him on paper. And Bill says, you know what? Let's do this damn thing. And then Russ get a call. Hello? Hey, listen. We want Russ. Bruh. Sierra got the bags packed. She probably been begging to come home anyway. And y'all know Russ gonna do what his wife want him to do. Atlanta can make these moves. They just got to be aggressive. Fuck Rich McKay. All right, listen. If Rich McKay is the thing that's keeping this from happening, bye. If I'm Arthur Blank, this bigger than me watching your back. Rich, nobody really. If I was Arthur Blank, I'd be like this. Don't nobody really know what the fuck you do here anyway. So, I'm trying to get me one of these. But Atlanta, they got too many opportunities to go after quality guys. And look, I'm not, again, what I think Ben Johnson has done in Detroit is dope. And in any other coaching cycle, maybe. Not this one. Not this one. Ben, the last guy I'm going after right now. And when we look at other guys, there were reports that had Dan Quinn pretty much in Seattle. I don't know why, because what Dan Quinn did over the weekend is that ain't even a shock to me. That shouldn't be a shock to Falcons fans at all. We've seen that story. We've seen this man fold like dollars in a collection plate at church. We know the deal. A1 says, let Russ cook for the low. Yeah, groceries already here. Russ ain't really got to do a lot with this offense. But be competitive and competent. That's it. Tidy says Arthur Blank needs to move Rich McKay over to the golf side of his enterprise. Get him away from the Falcons. Yeah, right now, listen, fam, Rich McKay is toxic right now. I don't care what side of the spectrum of the fan base you on, what coach you want. I think we all collectively agree. Rich McKay is toxic right now. Nobody really likes Rich McKay right now. So yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that 100. They need to move Rich McKay to the couch. Pay that man from the house. Rich McKay should be working from home next season. Straight up. They need to treat Rich McKay like he's in 2020. You're working from home. For this whole year, you're working from the house. Maddie says, Mark, me personally, if we bring in Bill, then we bring in Bill, fuck it at this point. But I know the OC, can we steal Joe Brady from the Bills, or you think he's going to want a head coaching position? Well, guys like that, same thing as Ben Johnson, man. They're high priorities on the head coaching carousel. So either they're going to want a head coaching position or they're going to stay where they're at, because where they're at is in a good spot. They're in a good spot. Joe Brady going to want a head coaching gig. It seems like nowadays, A1 says, baby Seattle. It seems like nowadays, if you're a coordinator and you do a good job for 2 years, you got you a head coaching job on the way. Seems like that's what it is nowadays. Armani says, or we trade up for Caleb Williams and Belichick leads the first rookie QB to a chip. Possible too. But Atlanta's in a great position. They're probably, and it's been a minute since I've seen Atlanta be in this type of position where you have draft capital, you have a good roster, and you have salary. You got salary cap. It's been a minute since I've seen it like this. You can't strike out. You can't. And my argument would be this. Let's put on the Doctor Strange capes and travel into the future in 3 years. Let's say we get Bill Belichick, we make it to the playoffs like twice and we don't do anything. And then he retires. And then you have some people say, man, see, Bill Belichick was the wrong pick. How? 3 years prior, we didn't even make the playoffs. We won 7 games. We couldn't even get 8 games. But you swung. And I think that's the part that people are kind of missing in this conversation. In order to win anything in life, you got to gamble. I've never seen anybody outside of winning the lottery sit on their ass and achieve what they wanted to achieve in life. And even winning the lottery, you had to get off your ass and go get a ticket and play. You got to be in the game to win. So for me, you got to swing at the fence. You got to. Because we ain't even making it to first base no more. We stuck at home plate at the end of the season every fucking year. Home plate. Meanwhile, we seeing Tampa round first going to second. And we a better team. Sav says D-Led just posted an article about Bill. Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at it. Man, shout out to D-Led. I will say this, bro. Last time I saw D-Led on TV, D-Led got to get a pair of glasses that fit him. Man, them glasses was all the way down to his lips when he was talking. I'm like, bro, you got to get you some glasses that fit, man. Let's see. Latest from, I see one from 18 hours ago. Hold on. Let me check the Twitter. Nothing here. Yeah, I'm not finding anything. Oh, you said it's on Twitter. I'm on Twitter right now. Y'all have to let me know what he said. Y'all have to let me know what he said on Twitter. Cause I'm not pulling up anything recent. Hey man, I'm looking at D-Led's younger picture, man. D-Led has always rocked these bow ties, bro. D-Led looked like he might have been getting the chicks back in the day, bro. Hey girl, come over here and let me holler at you for a bit. What do you do for a living? I'm a beat writer. You know, I talk about a lot of things, but mainly the Falcons, you know. But anyway, what you drinking on tonight? Man, let me put this picture up for you. Man, listen. Hold on, let me share this real quick. Oh, that's a terror. Oh God, that's pixelated to death. Hold on, man. Man, let me see if I can find this. Oh, that's boy. D-Led look like a straight square these days, man. D-Led looks like the guy at the barbecue that when you hear him talk, you don't think nothing about it. But this man's got a secret rib rub that'll blow your mind. He's the guy that people be telling you about. Hey, man, that dude barbecue ain't no joke, bro. Then you go over there and talk to him, and he's all humble about his ribs, but then he start giving you just he spends an hour talking about them. You go over there, hey man, you know, my cousin said that you was the barbecue man. Oh man, you know, I do a little something, man. You know, it ain't all that. 3 minutes later. See, what you want to do is you want to get apple wood. You want to make sure that you get apple wood. I use hickory sometimes in a pinch, but get the apple, and what you want to do is you want to drench that wood in vinegar for 48 hours. Anything shorter than that, you're going to have terrible ribs. If you want fall off the bone ribs, it has to be 48 hours. Then what you want to do for your rub, you want to make sure you have salt, parsley, dill. That's a lot of people don't understand. If you put dill in the rub, it just the flavor. He's that guy. D-Led is that guy. And it's as crazy as we talk about D-Led, fam. D-Led be breaking this Falcon stuff. And he don't play no games outside of the press. When he's in there talking to him, he be softballing everything. But then you put a mic in front of him, D-Led, he'll tell you the real. But I'm not seeing it, fam. So y'all just gonna have to tell me what the hell he said, or it'll pop up eventually. Outside of Bill Belichick being the coach or us going after Pete Carroll or something like that, it is what it is. And the Falcons have kind of been mum since they announced that they interviewed Bill Belichick. They ain't really said anything. Raymond says, what we got going on? No, I guess you meant Mark, but nothing much, man. We just sitting here talking about the coaching situation. So let me see. 5 hours ago, Tori McElhaney's, let's see. Oh, she's just talking about what they're going to be doing as far as their channel and everything. Okay, we finally found this. Okay, so Falcons, let me share my screen real quick. All right, so this was from this ain't even from him. This is from Ken Sir. Okay. I'm trying to find out what and y'all know I ain't paying for shit when it comes to the AJC. So we going off this first paragraph and we moving on. So Ken says the ideal situation for Falcons owner Arthur Blank might look something like this. Bill Belichick finds irresistible the opportunity to coach a team that hasn't been in the playoffs since 2017. Then the club signs quarterback Kirk Cousins in free agency, and then Cousins leads the Falcons to the Super Bowl glory in February 2025 in New Orleans. That's a storyline right there. That's a storyline. But let me see. I don't know why it's not coming up on my screen. Oh, that was he shared that. Okay. Yeah, he shared that. But anyway, fam, we're in a good position. Okay, G's saying that's what he posted on his page. Okay. We're in a good position, man. And if we hit a home run, we're going to be in a great situation. This is why I'm not really down on the team going into next year. We're not in salary cap hill, which is a good thing. We have a good roster, which is another good thing. We have a fan base that right now is rabid for a playoff run. So all you got to do is win like 3 or 4 games in a row. Ben's going to be packed. I think if you hire a guy like Belichick, it's going to be packed regardless. Guy like Pete Carroll, it's going to be packed regardless. Guy like Ben Johnson, it's going to take a minute. Because really, let's be honest. If you hire a coordinator, championship ain't really on the menu next year. We're not really expecting anything. But can he get us more than 8 wins? That's what you would expect from a guy like that. Guy with championship pedigree, playoffs is a foregone conclusion. But for my folks in the fan base, man, that are just staunchly against getting the guy because of his age, and he's this age, and you know he's too old, and wasn't nobody saying that about Nick Saban in college. Y'all, bruh, Nick Saban retired. You see how these guys are hitting the goddamn transfer portal now? These boys hitting the portal like it's Stargate. Man, Nick Saban announced he retired, bro. I'm talking about quarterbacks hitting the portal. Shador Stevens comes out. Hey, Alabama, where y'all at? Nick Saban the same age, bruh. My thing is age don't matter when you on the sideline. That man ain't putting on the pads going out there playing middle linebacker. That man is sitting on the sideline with paraphernalia on. So as long as he's sharp enough to be over there calling play, I don't care how old he is. We have to go after one of these young guys. And sometimes it works. Sean McVay. Mike McDaniels. Sometimes it works. Kyle Shanahan. But hold on, let me do something real quick. The guys that are consistently getting over the hump, John Harbaugh, 61 years old. They at the top of the AFC. He's 61. He's essentially 11 years younger than Bill Belichick. Look good for his age, too. Look good for his age. You look at a guy in Andy Reid, the Walrus. The Walrus, 65. Kansas City's been top dog how long now? Start digging into some of these coaches in the NFL. Andy Reid is 65, still got time to make commercials, trying to go after people's nuggies. Young sounds sexy in theory, but all those guys learned from somebody. And usually that somebody that they learn from has a better track record as a coach than they do. You look at Kirby right now. Kirby got Georgia toeing the line when it comes to wins now. Under Mark Richt, we wasn't getting this type of performance from Georgia. Under Mark Richt, you can almost guarantee every single solitary year Georgia was losing in the regular season to a team they had no business losing to every year. You look at the last, 2 losses Georgia's had, both of them been to Bama, whose coach was 71 fucking years old. So, my personal thing, if we don't get Bill, fine. If we don't get Pete, fine. If we don't get Jim, fine. Y'all better hit a home fucking run on this head coach. You announced that you get Ben Johnson. I'm gonna be honest, fam. You gotta prove to me you were the right guy. That's what type of year it is next year. You gotta prove that you were the right guy. I'm gonna be on board because I'm always about the logo. You gonna have to prove this to me. No longer do these coordinators get the benefit of the doubt because they were hot for 2 years. Nah, you were hot as an offensive coordinator. So I'm going to still have the same support as I would a coach that I really want because it's all about the logo to me. But they got to prove, a coordinator got to prove themselves to me, period. I'm not jumping off the porch for no coordinator. RUA, what's going on? RUA says, what the Falcons need more than anything is a culture change. And that's what Belichick brings, a culture change. One we've needed for 59 fucking years. Yeah. Look, I'll give... Here's another thing. Let me bring up, since I'm thinking about Andy Reid right now. If people remember, Andy Reid was with the Philadelphia Eagles forever. In the Donovan McNabb regime. You know, they had a team. Could not get over the hump. And Philly pretty much, what a lot of people don't know, Philly pretty much ran that boy up out of Philly. And he goes to Kansas City. Winning with Kansas City. Andy Reid has always kind of been a winning coach. Was winning with what's that quarterback's name? Alex Smith. But couldn't get over the edge. Whatever reason. Could not get over the edge. Then they got Mahomes. And it's been off to the races since. So sometimes you have a situation where you've just run your course somewhere. That's why I'm not ruling out Bill Belichick for 3 years. Man was fucking... The man was there for 20... We talking 3 years. This man was there for 24 fucking years. I'm not going to look at 3 years and say that that's your body of work. And he's got 6 titles. I can't do that. Clayton says, Dan Quinn went to the Super Bowl in how many years? As a DC, he went 2. Actually, yeah, I think he went 2. And then he went 1 with us. So that would make 3. But here's the thing. And Dan Quinn is a perfect example of this. As a defensive coordinator, he's right at home. As a head coach, I don't know. Because what got Dan Quinn essentially fired was the fact that he didn't want to let go of the defensive play calling. Because remember, the year before he got fired, he had actually turned the wheel over to Jeff Ulbrich and Raheem Morris. And our defense got better, substantially better. Then the very next year, he announced that he would be taking over the defensive play calling again. We went 0-5 and he got fired. That's the danger about being a head coach. You should have just left them guys in play, and who knows what might have happened. What we do know for a fact is while you called the defense, we had 1 year where we were top 10. That was 2017. Every other year we were damn near, above 27. Hucklebuck, what's going on? He says, do you think Tomlin has fans has ran his course in Pittsburgh? Well, let me look this up real quick. Somebody said in the chat earlier that he was coming back for 2024. He's been there for 17 years. So, and Mike Tomlin's 51. Good looking 51 too. Okay, yeah. So, Jerry Dulac says Mike Tomlin told Steelers players in team meetings today that he is returning in 2024 and not to believe the rumors per sources. All right, so there are a couple of people saying that he's told the team that he's coming back. All right. So that would be a situation. Let's say next year they have a winning season, but the same result happens, and he decides to move on. It happens, fam. It happens. Doesn't make him a bad coach. Just means that it just ran its course. And there's nothing wrong with that. I believe in second chances too, unless you're Dan Quinn. It's just how I feel. RUA says, I didn't even realize he snatched back the play calling duties. He did that dead in the middle of the night because I never caught it, but it makes sense looking back on it. Yeah. Sometimes pride is the devil. And the irony is, when he got fired, Jeff Ulbrich took over the defense and Raheem Morris was promoted to interim head coach. So it's like, if you would have kept those guys doing what they were doing, you probably would have kept your job. Because guess what happened when he got fired? The defense got better. This is why what happened to Dallas did not shock me at all when it came to the defense. Because we've seen this happen before with Dan Quinn. Clayton says Mike Tomlin did the right thing by addressing his players before the media. Yeah. Mike Tomlin is a class act as a head coach, man. Just class act. And, you know, people wanted Tomlin last night. Falcons fans were clamoring. If Tomlin hits the market, you better get him. You know, so anyway, it is what it is, man. But I'm going to go ahead and land my plane on this. Whatever happens, I'm going to be down. You know, I'm always about the logo, period. End of discussion. So whatever coach that we bring in here, you know, whether I strongly agree or strongly disagree with it, you know, the next step is, okay, who we got at quarterback? Because you can't undo the situation once they announce the head coach. Okay, who we got at quarterback? And then let's ride. I'm not going to spend countless videos bashing our next head coach because the hire don't sit well with me. Just like I did Arthur Smith. You give these guys a chance. You give them a chance to show you who they are. However, I would say I don't think I've ever seen a coaching offseason like this, where we're in a situation where we can get guys where we know who they are already. Whether you agree with it or not. And I'm about winning. I hate losing. I've talked about this ad nauseum. I miss the days when I could make lives and we were just knocking the shit out of teams. It feels good making those videos, bruh. Where you're not stressed. People can watch you talk about the chat is red hot on fire. Man, I had some videos in Atlanta Bird Gang, man. Some of these comments will be in the thousands, fam. When we winning, oh, it's all good vibes. It's all good vibes. Your drink hit a bit different. Food hit a bit different. The sleep that night hits a bit different. When you can lay your head on the pillow knowing you're going to wake up, you got a good team. We came away with a dub. It just feels better. So whatever coach we get in here, I'm a ride because I stand on logo business. And here's how deep this runs. The coach that comes behind him, it'll still be logo business. So if it's Bill Belichick, let's ride. Let's ride. If they go past all these guys and get Ben Johnson, okay, let's ride. You're gonna have to show me something, but let's ride. I did the same thing with Arthur Smith. Y'all go back and watch my videos back then. We hired Arthur Smith. Let's ride. Even when it comes to the draft, I'm like, hey, listen, let's ride. But the culture that we need is a winning culture. Period. And for Falcons fans, quit being bad and bougie. Remember where you come from. You ain't in a position to tell nobody shit. You ain't won nothing. So whoever we bring in here, let's ride. Let's get back to dubs. Let's get back to W's. Because I think, honestly, when we start back winning, the civil wars that we've been through, they'll be worth it. And if we win a chip, these civil people kind of rewrite history when they talk about these civil wars inside the fan base. Motherfuckers gonna be rewriting history. But I guarantee you, we win a chip, all these Falcons fans, all these Falcon content creators, I'll see y'all ass down there. I'll see y'all down there. Ain't gonna be a single bit of hate down there. All love. Because we love our team. And if you love your team, you want to see your team, and you want to see somebody that can get the best results from your team. Me, right now, looking at the market, me personally, that is Pete Carroll and that is Bill Belichick. I firmly believe Jim Harbaugh is off the table now. I just firmly believe that. Clayton says that it's still going to be sellouts. I mean, listen, there are going to be some fans that moonwalk back to the logo. Hey, but I think we won't even care. Man, man, our head are gonna be so far in the clouds, we ain't even gonna care about the ones that moonwalk back to the logo, or people that left the fan base years ago, or some of these fans that put on other jerseys. We don't really talk about them fans. Them fans that once upon a time used to be Falcons fans, Kansas City fans now, Philly fans, Cowboy fans. But I don't think we'll even care about them. Now, afterwards, we'll notice that man, wait a minute, this bandwagon got a little motherfucking heavy off in here, man. How does fan base bandwagon get heavy all of a sudden? That comes with the territory when you're winning. But for my day one steppers who have been all about the red and the black and the logo from day one, I rock with you. The ones that had to take a little break for their health, I rock with y'all too, because trust me, I know that all too well. If you put on another jersey, though, don't come hollering at me. I can't respect that. I can't respect that. But for my day one steppers, I rock with you. Anyway, fam, that has been the live for today. We'll see what happens. I think, by the weekend, a lot of this stuff is going to heat up. I think the teams that are in the playoffs now outside of Tampa, I think Todd Bowles got him another year in Tampa. But I don't see any of these teams moving off of their quarterback that are not their quarterback, their head coach, that are still in the playoffs. So I think there's going to be a lot of movement going on, before this weekend. I think if I had to predict, I think 2 teams will probably announce their head coach by Sunday. Hopefully we one of them. But that's neither here nor there. Henri says, Marcus, my brother, been rocking with you since Facebook. Love the show, man. Appreciate it, fam. I know you've been rocking with me for a while, man. So everybody that was in the comments, hey, man, appreciate y'all. My chat be low-key live up in here, man. Be low-key live, and I appreciate that, man. I appreciate y'all taking the time to listen to my silly ass talk. For everybody that catches this live after the fact, I appreciate it. If y'all at work right now listening to this, get some work done, bruh. Get some damn work done. But I appreciate y'all rocking with me too. Anyway, I'm up out of here, man. We'll probably be back, unless something monstrous happens, we'll probably be back Sunday to chop it up, man. But anyway, I'm up out of here, man. Y'all have a great rest of the week. Stay warm. Peace.